We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the great vaults of opportunity of this nation. We have also come to this hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now.
In Chicago, we have 50 school closings in African American and Latino communities. I encourage all of you to keep Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream alive. Every child deserves a great education.
Martin Luther King Jr. understood the civil rights struggle is a struggle for good jobs and decent wages. That educational opportunity is the highway to economic opportunity, which is why we must reclaim the promise.
This is what our country is founded on, equality of opportunity.
This is a struggle, it continues, and we all have to be a part of it.
Because if we don't stand up, no one else is going to stand up for us.
While issues have changed, the fight continues to protect vital public services, ensure fairness in the workplace, and give workers a voice in decisions. Through open conversations with members at local town hall meetings, AFT is refining its priorities to meet their needs.
Faith Community Alliance.
And by bringing community members together to develop a common vision, we are creating coalitions that cannot be ignored.
Putting the public back in public education is what this is all about.
When you get 1,000 people out in a community the size of Pittsburgh, it tells you something.
With community and members united, AFT is fighting back.
We're here to tell the governor today, fund public education.
Governor Corbett's strategy of privatization through starving public schools with over $1 billion in cuts has hurt Philadelphia children especially hard.
Almost 4,000 teachers and staff were laid off.
No SSAs, no counselors, no librarians, and of course no secretaries.
Budget cuts have been damaging to my education and my future. That's why I'm fighting.
With the future of their schools in the balance, the Philadelphia community is coming together like never before to demand well-funded neighborhood schools and mobilize for the upcoming gubernatorial election.
This is our chance to give a really great contrast and say, we can go to a better place.
In New York, Governor Cuomo's budget called for privatizing and shutting down essential services at SUNY Downstate Medical Center, eliminating state employee jobs.
And we serve a community that has a high mortality rate with hypertension, diabetes, cancer.
Save Downstate! If we engage in a 48-hour fast, we're going to sacrifice because this institution is that important to this community.
Come here, face the people!
Under pressure, New York lawmakers relented and allowed the hospital to remain public.
We're keeping Downstate open.
The future of City College in San Francisco is in jeopardy. The Accrediting Commission issued a drastic decision tonight.
A rogue accreditation agency is attempting to effectively close City College of San Francisco.
We don't want to see students from this college pushed off into the for-profits and further into debt.
Accreditation is supposed to be about ensuring quality education, and that's something we all care very much about.
Because 85,000 students! For ACCJC to attack City College, a college that was named one of the top in the country, it's ridiculous. We're not going to let that happen.
Anyone in here that can tell me what they think that says, because this is how a teacher is judged.
In Houston, AFT is challenging the use of unreliable VAM ratings.
It was first developed to measure the productivity in bulls in the birth weight of the calves that they produce.
I am a great teacher according to my past evaluations, and this year for the first time, my immaculate record is reduced to this caricature because of this flawed, broken model.
I want to be held accountable, but I also see the limitations in the way that the whole system has been set up.
In Florida, parents, students, and members are fighting the state's runaway high-stakes testing.
I'm testing so much and so frequently, it just doesn't uphold the idea of school and education.
oh, you have 40 kids, ooh, that's too bad. No, it's not too bad anymore. Enough is enough.
Teachers United!
You've got millionaires deciding what's going to happen in these schools. They know money. We know education.
Chicago teachers stand against Rahm Emanuel's corporate education reform, ignited support both in Chicago and across the country.
We're all fighting the same battle.
And it looks like they're winning, and that's really inspiring.
Fighting for patients.
AFT's affiliation with the National Federation of Nurses has given healthcare members more force in pushing back against corporations more interested in profits than patient care.
I can't work 12-hour days with 2 nurses on a floor for 10 patients, no aide, no secretary.
It's just a numbers game with them, and you just can't treat patients that way.
When we said to that corporation that runs that hospital, we said no.
We want our patients to get the best care from skilled nurses and techs.
It's about making sure that this hospital doesn't betray its promises to the New London community.
With the support of community, nurses in Ohio and Connecticut fought back lockouts and were able to win contracts that improve working conditions.
My daughter attends McGraw Avenue School, which is slated next year to become team charter if this One Newark plan comes into effect.
We have to fight austerity.
This is a school system under County Anderson that has run amok
against the chaotic and destructive One Newark plan.
Our schools are not for sale, and we the students, we're not for sale either.
Ross Baraka is now the mayor-elect, soundly defeating his opponent.
If Tammy Anderson says that she doesn't have the will to make schools work, then we need a new superintendent.
Elections matter. With Ross Baraka, who helped create the community-led Newark Promise Plan, there is a new mandate to improve and invest in neighborhood public schools.
The public has come up with a plan about how to invest in kids.
By providing real solutions, AFT is fighting back by fighting forward.
This is a very good day for New York City. We knew that when we succeeded in finding common ground, we wanted a period of stability to heal our school systems and move it forward.
We have hundreds of schools who do very creative things, and we wanted to create a platform for them. So if there's real trust inside of your school building and you want to do things in a different way, that is something we will entertain. The plan comes from the school, not from the Department of Ed. It's educators working in a school community saying we want that.
By electing a mayor that believes in and supports public education for all children, New York City is turning a new page.
We as healthcare professionals see every day how people and families suffer when they can't access the healthcare that they need. We will provide the leadership our lawmakers need for the country's first universal healthcare system.
Also in Vermont, Early Educators United pushed and won legislation which allows home-based providers to organize and negotiate with the state on subsidy rates for low-income families.
For example, parents are really struggling to pay tuition, and I think it's really important that all child care providers have a voice in the decision-making process.
Here is the Keep the Promise legislative agenda. We want priority for funding that goes directly to our school districts instead of to special projects.
In New Mexico, parents, teachers, and community developed a new vision for public education, which the legislature adopted in the state budget.
Our message is resonating on reclaiming the promise. We've got to stand united.
And I think once we really start allocating our resources where they should be, we can have a really quality public school system here in the state.
In Lawrence, Massachusetts, there's a new direction in a school district that in the past has pushed privatization.
We brought in a lot of management companies, and we sat there and said, well, we've known these kids, give us a shot. And we came up with a plan to let teachers run the school.
We need to work together to do it. There's a synergy that comes when you get people on the same page, and I think that's what you're seeing today.
What do we want?
In Illinois and Oregon, full and part-time faculty are working together in bargaining forward-looking contracts that ensure that all are treated with the respect they deserve.
What we don't want is a two-tier system
instructors that are not being paid a living wage.
We got longer contracts for non-tenure track faculty, more stability.
That are going to make this a better place to live, to build our careers around.
1 million books! Surpassing the 1 million book milestone, First Book, AFT, and state and local affiliates are involving more and more partners, including the AFL-CIO, in ensuring all children have books in their home.
This is going to be their own book, and I think it's going to be very exciting for the students who never had a book of their own.
Through Reconnecting McDowell, partners have wired the county for internet and given students almost 900 laptops to bridge the digital divide. And AFT is leading the effort to convert an eyesore in downtown Welch into housing for teachers to help recruitment and retention. Share My Lesson has grown to 550,000 users, and with the help of AFT members, it has become the largest online repository of Common Core line resources.
I'm also looking at it for how does it have a science connection? How does it have a writing connection? Because again, there's so many lessons out there, and these are vetted by teachers.
It's not from a group of people who think they know what education is. These are people who've had that experience.
We support the teachers and would like to see lower class sizes so that students get more personalized instruction.
By involving parents and students in setting priorities for the contract negotiations, the St. Paul Federation of Teachers was able to break an impasse with the district.
Of the 29 proposals, they said 21 of them don't belong at the bargaining table.
They need to be at the table.
So it was the parents and the community members who made sure that their voices were heard in saying, these actually do belong in contract negotiations.
It's easy to divide people, but I think it's harder to divide them when they know truth.
Without a doubt, collective action is what helped us to win a contract.
Public education is the anchor of democracy.
Equal funding, public education.
We are the stakeholders in our city. What do we do?
Stand up like that!
A coalition of teachers, of students, and community leaders are rallying in dozens of cities across the country today.
The largest coordinated group of actions, over 90 in all. There are student groups, there are parent groups, there are community groups who are saying we need a new direction.
If we don't reclaim the promise for our children today, where will they be left tomorrow?
Brown versus Board of Education has not been realized.
Reclaiming it so that anyone, no matter how poor you are, no matter what your background, can go to a good public school and get a fantastic education.
Aquí está su promesa.
It's a basic human right to share what they have to contribute to our society.
It's real important that we do become active and involved. I'm doing it for all state employees.
Our members are very serious about reclaiming the promise of giving universal health care for all.
We can all stand together, faith community, the labor community, and the community.
And we need to stand together because public education has been scapegoated.
You just can't take the step lying down. You have to get political, you have to get active, you have to organize.
Don't Trump, free Trump!
We're not going to let business people and business interests take over our schools and harm our students.
I would not allow the SRC to devalue my education.
We're all in this together. We are inextricably linked to each other. That's why we're coming together.